Hey, I'm Jim Search, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Rob Adler and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate. And this week, we are pouring a glass of upstate's finest wine as we walk along the Seneca Wine Trail.
But not literally, because this is a morning record, Jim.
Yeah,
a little early for it to be sipping on some wine.
Depends on who you're talking to,
sure.
Man.
It's true.
It is a Sunday. I'm sure there's some real brunch heroes out there right now.
You know what? That's true.
It off. You know what I mean? I mean, I have to say I feel like I haven't started drinking wine at 10 a.m. Not that I haven't started drinking at 10 a.m. before in my life.
Sure.
Definitely would be doing that, especially in upstate New York. I've absolutely started drinking at inappropriate times. Shout out to you, Parade Day. I see you. I see you out there, Parade Day.
Sure. I mean, if I recall, it's recommended that you start with a shower beer for Parade Day.
Sure. And I have done that as well. I have absolutely drank in the shower of a parade day or two. We call it the Upstate Waterfall.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We should really elevate shower drinking, though. Like, why not a glass of wine in the shower, right? And maybe use a plastic cup. You really want to avoid glass. Actual glass in the shower, but listen, why not a little Chardonnay in the Chardonnay in the shower? It rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah, it really does, like the wine.
Yeah,
just like the wine. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, if you can drink in like a spa, why can't you turn your bathtub into a spa?
There we go.
Just saying, folks. Let us know if you're drinking in the shower out there, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's.
And what you're drinking. Hopefully not the shower water.
Yeah, don't drink that. But if you like to relax and decompress with a fine glass of Chablis, let us know in the comments. Hit us up.
There we go. Hey, speaking of hitting us up in the comments, we didn't do this part yet, right?
No, we didn't.
I
was setting you up for that.
There we go. You should write us a positive review on Apple Podcasts. Throw us 5 stars. Let us know what you're drinking in the shower, and let us know what you would like us to cover on a future episode. And we'll do just that. So throw us some kind words, and also throw an episode out to a friend. Share it like you would share a glass of wine with them, right?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not shoehorning in the wine references today at all. It's
not at
very
all.
Natural, very natural.
Like the grapes that come from the Seneca Lake Wine Trail.
Hey, speaking of those grapes, should we get to the Seneca Lake Wine Trail, Jim?
Sure, man. It is an institution in upstate New York, and we are here to let you know what it's all about.
Let's do it.
The Seneca Lake AVA, which stands for the American Viticultural Area around Seneca Lake in upstate New York. Let's talk about it. The wine appellation is entirely contained within the larger Finger Lakes AVA and includes portions of Ontario, Schuyler, Seneca, and Yates counties. Seneca Lake is a glacial lake about 35 miles long and up to 600 feet deep. The lake does not freeze in the winter and acts as a giant heat storage unit for the vineyards surrounding the lake, extending the growing season. The region's most commercially important grape variety is Riesling, although a wide variety of Vitis vinifera and French hybrid grapes are grown.
Okay.
And I know this because I was up in Seneca Lake a few summers ago, and it was beautiful. And definitely went around and did some wine tours as if I knew what the fuck was going on.
You hit the trail?
I did. I
Nice.
hit the trail, and the trail hit back because we were pretty drunk. by the end of it, it was my friend's 50th birthday. And he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I want to go up to Seneca Lake. And we did. And we drank a bunch of wine
There you go.
and saw a bunch of boats out on the lake. And it was beautiful.
That sounds like a good time.
Oh, yeah. It was fucking great. There was a bunch of like trumper boats out in the water. And I was like, if you sank, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Sure.
But that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
Anyway, in 1977, the Glenora Wine Cellars was the first winery to open on Seneca Lake, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Other wineries soon followed, including the Herman J. Weimer Vineyard. That's a lot. And the Wagner Vineyards Estate Winery, established by Stanley Wagner in 1979. There it is. Now, we should get into the history because, folks, making wine in the Seneca region didn't start in 1977. People were drinking well before that, and we will get into it. The Iroquois were the first to utilize the microclimates created by the lake's varying water temperatures. The Iroquois fruit crops flourished. Later, white settlers, surprised, planted only what they needed to survive or use for local barter until the opening of the Erie Canal.
Hey.
There it is, your favorite canal, Rob.
There we go.
Backyard fruit trees and arbors quickly grew into commercial orchards and vineyards. Now, the area's earliest vineyard on record belonged to the Reverend William Boswick. In 1829, Boswick grew Catawba? Or no? Is that what it?
Catawba?
I'm going to say Catawba. Let's do that. And Isabella grapes in his rectory garden located in Hammondsport, New York, on the southern tip of Cayuga Lake. So he was getting fucked up for the Lord, baby. He distributed cuttings to parishioners, and soon offshoots from his vineyards spread throughout the region. So yeah, he was.
There you go.
What do you know, man? Who knew this would be who knew that a delicious liquid would get people feeling right and would have them confess their sins? In 1866, the western shores of Seneca Lake became home to its first winery, the Seneca Lake Grape Wine Company.
What a name.
Yeah, the SGLWC.
Yeah.
The winery planted 100 acres of grapes. At the time, it was the largest vineyard in the state. In 1869, they were producing 14,000 U.S. gallons of Seneca Lake's commercial wine. Its first commercial wine. That is a lot of vino, folks.
Yeah.
Then, in 1882, New York State opened its agricultural experiment station in Geneva, New York, located at the north end of Seneca Lake.
I looked a little bit into that, and they it's I think owned by Cornell now, which is has a huge food science department, basically. Like they invented chicken nuggets or chicken fingers. I think it's chicken nuggets, but
right.
They've created a couple grape varieties now. Like the wine aspect has really grown there, but it's a cool little institution that they got going there.
Interesting.
A lot of food research.
Who knew? Who knew upstate New York had so much to offer? We did, actually. We knew that. Its grape breeding and research programs helped to substantiate Seneca Lake as a prominent player in the grape growing industry. And by 1900, there were over 20,000 acres of vineyards throughout the Finger Lakes and more than 50 wineries. But, my friends, good things can't last too long because in 1919, the passage of Prohibition, strongly impacted the wine and grape growing industries. Only the largest wineries were able to survive by making grape juice and sacramental wine. So you could still drink. You just got to hang out at church.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I want to, that one monk had a pretty good thing going on,
Yeah, he was getting lit up.
Yeah.
So you just, you know what you do is you just church hop.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
You know what I mean? You just
Sure.
sit through a sermon, pound some sacramental wine, and be like, "All right, I got to get out of here." Leave a tip, and then
Sure.
you're on your way.
There you
You
go.
take the tip out of the collection plate for the next place. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's how you get it done. The total area of Finger Lakes vineyards was cut in half as a result of prohibition, and many of the vineyards that remained were replanted to produce grape varieties popular for juice or for the fresh fruit market. When prohibition was repealed, surprise, people wanted to drink. The wine and grape growing industry remained a shadow of its former self.
I guess it's kind of like if, prohibition hits, I guess I'd much rather be a vineyard than a brewery cuz like you still got grapes.
Right,
Like,
exactly. Like you could pivot into again like grape juice
yeah.
or, any other grapes.
Yeah, so I
You
guess
could
we just it makes shit a lot easier. Just cut them and toss them in a bag and sell
There
them.
you go. Yeah, man, because you cannot take barley and hops.
No.
You're like you wanna eat some hops,
Yeah.
folks. I don't think the hops consumption game is very
Mm-mm.
strong out there.
Not yet, but like, have we tried to deep fry them? Come on,
I mean,
let's give it a shot.
let's it hasn't been discovered yet, and we're here to do it. The Seneca Lake Grape Wine Company had folded, and area farmers struggled to survive in a much reduced New York State market. The next significant change for the Seneca Lake grape growing and wine producing industry occurred in the late 50s and 60s. Two young European viticultural pioneers named Charles Fournier and Constantine Frank began to research and experiment with vinifera grapes in the Finger Lakes region. Fournier's and Frank's research led them to Seneca Lake, where they found the most favorable microclimates conducive for growing the vinifera grape. In the early 70s, Fournier planted 20 acres of vinifera on the east side of Seneca Lake. At the same time, a German native named Hermann Weinmer bought and planted 140 acres of vinifera on the west side of Seneca Lake. The success of these two vineyards, along with the establishment of the Wine Research Group at the New York State Agricultural Experiment Station in Geneva, which had been banned since its opening, helped to start the revitalization of Seneca Lake in the grape growing and wine producing industry.
There we go.
So these two badasses brought wine back to its former glory, so that some moms later on in life could have a nice glass as they yell at their children at soccer practice. That's what I'm hearing.
There you go.
Now, there's another fold in this story here of the Seneca Lake wine saga, and that is the New York Farm Winery Act of 1976. In the early 70s, John Miller of Benmarl Winery and John Dyson, Commissioner of Agriculture, put together a plan to help revitalize the New York wine industry, which was floundering at the time. Governor Hugh Carey signed the plan into law in 1976. The law allowed small grower producers to sell directly to consumers, as well as reducing certain fees and providing tax and marketing advantages, which makes sense because you can literally pull up in any of these places and be like, I would like to sample and purchase some of this vino you got here. And then you find yourself on the side of the road just hoping for more wine. Originally, the law required farm wineries to sell only estate-grown wines, but it was amended in 1978 to allow the use of any New York-grown grapes in wine to be sold at a farm winery. How about that?
There you go.
Now, there is one of the first wineries that we spoke about a little bit earlier, the Glenora Wine Joint. We're going to talk about their story and even get into some reviews, which, folks, one thing I love to read are horrible reviews of businesses. So, Glenora, you're going to get roasted here a little bit, but you know what? You'll be fine. The story of Glenora Wine Cellars. As we said before, when the Farm Winery Act in 76 passed, Gene Pierce, along with Eastman Beers, Edward Dalrymple. Where the fuck are these people? These are some of the wildest names that are just put together with just consonants on top of each other. Incredible.
Also, what are the odds that someone named Eastman Beers is going to go into wine? He's in the wrong industry.
You're in the wrong place. You got to get over to Rochester, man.
Yeah. Jesus.
All independent grape growers at the time, and businessman Howard Kimball, with a great last name, seized the opportunity to open the winery on Seneca Lake.
I'm sorry, is Howard Kimball the name of a character that Arnold Schwarzenegger plays?
John Kimball.
John Kimball, damn it. All right, thanks. Sorry. Let's go back.
Don't you dare apologize.
Total Recall? Is that the...
No, that was Quaid. He was Dennis Quaid. Well, he was partially Dennis Quaid. Detective John Kimball was from Kindergarten Cop.
Yep. All right. We got there.
Yeah. I didn't know all of this would be in my brain accessible, folks.
No, you were right on top of it.
Yeah. I mean, listen, some people ran from the problem. I ran towards it.
There you go.
And I was happy to clear up anything for you, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. What we don't want is for you to walk away from this podcast not knowing Arnold Schwarzenegger's names of his characters. I don't want that, and I don't want you out in these streets giving out the wrong information. You don't deserve that. So, established in 77 and officially opened in May of 78, Glenora Wine Cellars produced 5,000 cases. They received instant acclaim in wine circles when their initial vintage won several medals at the New York State Fair wine competition, which by the end of it, who's still standing? Who's able to accurately give out medals here? That's what I want to know. I feel like everybody wins at the end of a New York State Fair wine competition, to be honest with you. But they didn't ask me. These visionaries watched their farm winery grow to a commercial producer and win recognition in Wine Spectator magazine as one of the world's top wineries. The world, folks. The world.
Sounds like a fun magazine, Wine Spectator.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they just call it Wine Drinker?
Or Wino.
Oh, yeah.
Wino Weekly. Just saying. In 1987, the winery was expanded to increase its production facility. At the same time, the retail sales area was also expanded, dramatically increasing the capacity of annual visitors. This expansion included the addition of a restaurant, the Wine Garden Cafe, which was the first winery restaurant located on the western shores of Seneca Lake. In 1999, owners Gene Pierce and Ed, whose last name will not be pronounced, and Scott Welliver oversaw the creation of the 30-room inn and the Verazians restaurant, which opened in June of 2000, offering guests from around the world the finest accommodations and farm-to-table cuisine in the Finger Lakes at their very unique winery resort.
I feel like that's pretty early for farm-to-table, right?
Right.
Wow,
yeah, I
really
feel like
ahead
that.
of the curve.
Yeah, that was real, I don't know, I feel like in the late, early 2000s to the 2010s.
I was gonna say 20-teens is definitely becoming more aware of farm to table.
It's we are farm to table, which was said in that tone. Today, Glenora Wine Cellars is owned by Gene Pierce and Scott Welliver, who struck a friendship at a sailboat race in the early 70s.
Must be nice.
Of course they did.
Must be nice.
Not surprised. Gene's and Scott's varied business experiences and shared values have been a great asset to the growth of the Finger Lakes wine industry. Glenora Wine Cellars. The inn at Glenora Wine Cellars and Verazian's restaurant offers the opportunity to enjoy all the amenities of the Finger Lakes in one beautiful location. We invite you to visit and experience the excellence of Glenora Wine Cellars. The inn and the Glenora Wine Cellars and Verazian's. They are open 364 days a year and closed on December 25th for Jesus Christ.
There you go.
Now, folks, arguably one of my favorite parts of the show is we get to get into some of the reviews that were left for Glenora Winery. We're going to start high with 5 stars. This one's about a year ago. Glenora Winery stands as one of the oldest, most renowned, and breathtaking wineries. They provided a guided winery tour at 11 a.m. You love to see it. 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. with a charge of $20 for both the tour and the wine tasting, while only the wine tasting incurs a $10 fee. The tour exudes friendliness and cooperation. How about that?
You really want your tour to exude cooperation.
Yeah, you don't want anybody to talk shit to you throughout this, right?
Yeah.
Kind of want this to be a collaborative endeavor. The impressive portfolio boasts over 50 wines with an annual production of 60,000 cases, each containing 12 bottles. The sprawling grape farm covers more than 150 acres and supports home delivery upon request. The establishment offers ample parking for cars and features an on-site restaurant, which we talked about earlier, which unfortunately remains closed on Mondays and Tuesdays.
I gotta say, this is the worst review I've ever heard.
This one?
Yeah, well, I don't need to know that they make 60,000 plus cases of wine. Is the wine good or not? I don't care if the tour's cooperative. What
you're saying is that perhaps this is a plant?
Yeah.
And that Gene might have written this?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're trying to say?
Mm-hmm.
I understand that. Well, Rob, speaking of not so good reviews, we have another one that we'd love for you to share with us.
This is a 1-star review from about 5 years ago. Oh, I'm sorry. The headline is 0 stars.
Yeah. One of my favorite, I'm like a real review head, is like the kind of like standard stock line is, if I could give you 0 stars, I would.
Yep.
They love to throw that in there. I've thrown it in there.
After reading a little bit of this, I already have some thoughts, but let's get
all right.
this one.
What do we got here?
0 stars. Came here for my sister's bachelorette party. We were doing a wine tour and planned on eating here for lunch. They refused us and told us that our party was too big. We offered to split into smaller groups. They said with only 2 servers that we could not be served no matter what. Sounds like you didn't have a reservation for your big ass group.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here. And let alone for a bachelorette party.
Right.
No.
And which I can only imagine what was said here. I'm looking at the profile picture.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine
Sure.
how this conversation went.
Sure.
But it's her party.
Yeah. How can you refuse to serve? Bad business and service. We didn't even taste their wine since they will get none of our money. This happened on Saturday, September 28th, 2019, around noon. Is this like a fucking police report?
They timestamped it. Yeah.
Jesus. The host talked to manager twice, and the manager refused to come speak to us. That's hilarious. In your review response, you gave me no good way to get in touch with you. Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The host is like, yo, you really need to come out and talk. And the manager's like, I'm not
talking to them. I have nothing to say to them.
I have nothing to say to you. You can leave. We've resolved this issue.
Yeah.
We've resolved the issue.
That's
incredible.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. If you show up particularly with a bachelor or bachelorette party and you don't have reservations, you deserve to get turned away.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing if like, you have like 5 people.
Yeah.
That's manageable. But like, I can only imagine from what this sounds like, we were talking like double digit numbers of people. So like,
Once you get above 8, and I would say even at 8, showing up anywhere without a reservation, like you're pushing.
you're on the line.
You're
on the
pushing.
line with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like, and I can't imagine that there was just 8 people in this this convoy of this convoy of entitlement that rolled into our favorite Glenora wine cellar. But
still 2 reviews and no one's tasted the wine.
right. Yeah, I mean, we just know that they sell it. That's good.
Yeah.
Which you should. I mean, I'm glad they're not selling auto parts.
Sure.
That'd be fucking wild. Well, we have another review from about a week ago, which has turned the corner. I feel like we've really turned the corner. We're going to turn the corner on this. We're really playing good cop, bad cop here on this episode. 5 stars. Spent 2 nights here for my wife's Christmas present. Our stay was extremely peaceful. The wine room here was excellent. And the restaurant, words cannot describe how well both of our dinners were on both nights. Well, you're going to have to use words.
I mean, yeah, Jesus, this is a written medium.
I mean, I can't look at it here, so you got to tell me, right?
Yeah.
The food, the service, everything was amazing. It rained all weekend, so you could work on Mother Nature accommodating my attempt at a husband not screwing up his wife's present. That would be great.
A little clunky of a joke there, but you know what?
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I mean, it's a little daddish humor, but you know, I think the delivery could have used a little bit. 5 stars on the review, 2 stars on the joke.
That sounds about right.
Let's do that.
That sounds about
well. Rob, we got another review here.
We sure do. It is a long one.
And I'm looking at it right now, and it is a lot of lines for 1 star, and I'm excited.
We could have used a couple paragraphs here, but formatting is not the top of this person's concern.
In the fit of rage, I can only imagine.
Yeah, well, let's learn about this local guide's 1-star review from about 9 months ago. Even some recent ones.
Sure.
All right. Having driven the Seneca Wine Trail in search for outstanding wines, my wife and I stopped at Glenora at the behest of a few locals. The disappointment was apparent once we walked in and waited 10 minutes to be greeted for a wine tasting. We opted for the $20 cellar tour, but were told the educator did not show up. So off to the regular $10 tasting we went. The young girl who was attempting to serve 16 guests was dramatically uneducated about the wine she was pouring, let alone wine in general.
Imagine being dramatically uneducated.
Right.
I mean, I've met people who are dramatically uneducated.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Some real flat earthers and just like, well, can you tell me why water's wet?
Yeah.
Like that sort of shit.
That is dramatic. That is being dramatic about it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Her interaction was clearly scripted as she gave the identical verbiage as she did other patrons. You really need to get off this like teenager's back, man. Jesus.
Right. I mean, and also, like, first of all, she's not old enough to drink it.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know what level of, like, depth of knowledge you're going to expect this sommelier to really give you here, but chill out, dog.
Yeah, dude. Also, like, you have no patience for someone who's, like, clearly been overseated, just working, you know, has to seat 16 wine snobs. God damn. Anyway, when asked about sweetness levels in the wines, she simply pointed to the tasting sheet and indicated the sugar level was between 0 and 2.5%, somewhere in there. Her lack of education was only second to the eyedropper pours she was offering the guests. Jesus.
Like, that's her call, man.
Yeah, dude. The volume poured was not enough to swirl and aerate the wine, let alone get an idea of the wine's body of aromas. When asked for a bit more, she pointed to a dirty glass on the windowsill behind her, which was partially filled with some sort of sand next to an open bottle of dishwashing soap. She said,
so that's that's on her.
She said that is the level she was told to pour. So I think like mimicking, you got to mimic the level of sand in this glass. Which
got it.
Too much detail on this reviewer's part. Like I don't care. Again, this kid's just doing their job. I don't know.
I'll walk that back. I felt like she was just about to. I jumped the gun on that one.
No worries.
Okay,
no worries.
Still on your team, kid.
The point of the tasting is to discover palatable wines I'd like to add to my collection, as well as potentially becoming a member of quality wineries. Regrettably, for Glenora, I've not had the opportunity to properly taste their selections, nor was I educated about their vinification processes or tasting notes for their wines. What a waste of time and $20. Sir, you spent $10. You did the $10 one. Get your story straight.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
I'm not on his side.
We were also going to have lunch at Glenora's restaurant. I called the restaurant prior to the tasting to ensure availability, but the bitter taste lingering after the tasting, you already used the word taste, don't double down on taste and tasting, but it's not quippy, led me to another spot just down the road. 2 misses for you, Glenora. What a shame. It sounds like maybe 2 misses and perhaps Glenora dodged a bullet because getting this fucking guy out.
Yeah, man.
As soon as possible is in their best interests.
First, like I said before, man, first off, your expectations of a teenager to give you sommelier level of expertise is pretty unreasonable. Second off, you lied about how much money you spent here. Third off, it's pretty clear that your horrible, your quote unquote horrible experience in the tasting is only going to mean that you're just not going to like the food. You're clearly going to go in there with just a horrible expectation. So you can fuck off and leave this teenager alone.
Indeed. Well, let's continue into a little wine controversy here, Jim. I've got some news articles. This first one is quite interesting, I think. And then I have some more articles just about kind of the development of an expansion of the Seneca wine offerings, Seneca Lake wine offerings, basically, and how they've grown and kind of their relationship with New York City, which I think is kind of interesting, and how they got a foothold there. But first, this is from 1980 from the New York Times, October 8th, from the column called Wine Talk, which I think must have been a weekly or monthly column. There's a lot of Wine Talk articles. And this is about a wine proprietor. Let's get into it. Walter S. Taylor is alive, well, and virtually anonymous in Hammondsport, New York. The flamboyant winemaker refers to himself as Walter S. Who or Walter S. Blank, for he is unable to use his family name on his wines. He says he has been stripped of his heritage by a court order. He is angry and his mustache fairly bristles as he inveighs against the legal system that he feels violated his civil rights.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, man. Walter S. Taylor. I already know what you look like, and the day that you tell me about your civil rights being infringed on is the day that I'm going to actually give a shit.
For sure.
But go off, Walter. Go off more.
We'll continue. Let's see. It was his family that in 1880 founded the Taylor Wine Company, also in Hammondsport, and then sold it to the Coca-Cola Company in 1977. Who knew Coke was in the wine game? But Walter S. Taylor has not worked for the old family company for a decade. He left to start his own wine venture, Bully Hill Vineyards. 3 years ago, a federal court in upstate New York enjoined Mr. Taylor from using the Taylor name in marketing and promoting the wines of Bully Hill. Last year, the same court found him in contempt for using the injunction itself to promote Bully Hill wines in a manner that the court called derisive. He used the court order to promote his wines.
Let him rock, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, he's taking on Coca-Cola, Jim. That's got to get some points. The judge found I was guilty of telling people who I was and where I came from, Mr. Taylor said the other day. It is fairly important in a trademark case to deny anybody the right to tell who his father and mother are and who his children are. In response, the original court decision, Mr. Taylor marketed Bully Hill wines with his surname blacked out. We blacked out Taylor on at least 100,000 labels. Even the tourists coming through the winery helped. That's awesome. Become a marker, guys. We couldn't sell the wines until the names were blanked out. He also drew masks on the portraits of Taylor ancestors that appeared on his labels. He had bumper stickers printed with the slogan, "Enjoy Bully Hill, the Untaylor." His name also remained on Bully Hill's shipping cartons and on tickets to his wine museum in Hammondsport. These are other actions the court ruled accounted to defiance of the court's preliminary injunction. When the contempt decision was handed down, Mr. Taylor sent letters to other wine producers and to newspapers complaining about it. "Are we in America or Russia?" he wrote. Oh, boy. It is a crime for an American citizen to tell the truth about his heritage and name? Should newspapers bear the guilt and punishment of printing who I am and where I come from? What happened to our ability to have freedom of press, freedom of speech? What say you, fellow Americans? All right, he's...
Get all the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, dude.
I'm done with it. Like,
this is taking a turn.
I don't know if you know what you're saying right now.
Yeah. I feel like you could have just had a fuck Coke stance, and that would have maybe won more, supporters.
Yeah.
All right.
The level of sympathy I have is zilch.
Yeah. Let's see. It all started when Coca-Cola acquired Taylor Wine in 1977. Under the huge beverage company's ownership, Taylor Wine and Bully Hill... Taylor Wine sued Bully Hill, charging that the active and prominent use of Mr. Taylor's name, usually in the form of a signature, and selling Bully Hill wines violated the Taylor Wine trademark. Taylor is the largest producer of table wines and sparkling wines in New York State. Oh. Bully Hill, which markets 15 wines of its own, is a Taylor competitor, but is much smaller.
So what he should have done is added 2 L's to Taylor or 2 R's to Taylor.
Yeah.
And we would have fucking dodged that bullet. But I don't know, Walter. What can I tell you?
Yeah. Let's see. Now there are no longer any portraits of Mr. Taylor's ancestors on his labels. That's why I've got so many animals on my labels now. He explained the Bully Hill Red Table Wine, a blend of several grape varieties, has a label with an owl on it. Across the top of it, the label says, Walter S. Who? Followed by the inscription, We know who. Do you?
That's kind of clever.
Yeah,
I'll give you that, Walt, but...
I assume it's an owl because they go who, right?
Yes.
Right? I like it. That's, yeah. He's doing some things right, but overall the messaging it could be really reworked.
The optics and the ploy for sympathy. You're not getting a lot from me.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah. And he could have. Again, getting sued by Coca-Cola, there's a way to, it's a David and Goliath.
But co-opting civil rights and freedom of speech and freedom of press, that ain't it, dude. No. That is not it.
Nope. The label on another Bully Hill wine bears what appears to be Walter Taylor's self-portrait. He's an accomplished artist, but the picture carries no identification other than the new vineyardist, Mr. Taylor, who clearly always dresses in denims and wears wide-brim hats, complains that he is not even permitted to take credit by name for the artwork on his labels. Let's see. The trademark laws should not be used as a means of censorship of American citizens. My sentence was a life sentence, and my children's life sentence, and my children's children's life sentence. Then he adds, America's been great because of communications, not secrets. I
has
own
it?
the sure. I own the Taylor's family estate. I own the Taylor wine recipes, but I'm not allowed to say so. This brings up a question. I assume this guy got a shit ton of money from Coke.
I would think so.
If he owns all that shit, he was one of the main benefactors. I'm done with this fucking guy. This is no good. Let's see. Jumping down to the end here. Walter S. Taylor, now 48 years old, has not appealed Judge Burke's order. These things take a lot out of you, he says. After all, they threatened us with total extinction. I had to settle so I could fight another day. There we go.
I feel like the word fight is doing a lot in that sentence.
Sure.
But
that's
all right.
One man's quippy owl is another man's fight, I guess. Right. All right. Let's see. Let's jump to back to more serious matters. So basically, kind of a big part of the particularly the Seneca and Finger Lake region wine industries struggle was gaining acceptance, particularly in New York City, being so close, and that was a thing, right? And in a lot of articles leading up to the mid 80s, I think I have one where I'll talk about it, like, people in New York City don't know, they're not giving us the time of day, they're missing out. That's kind of the general consensus. But in the 80s, that started to change a little bit. So I've got one article here. State Wines, a door opens in Manhattan. This is again from the Times in 1984. New York is a tough town to crack, and no one knows it more than the upstate winemakers. For years, they have grumbled over their lack of recognition in one of the best, if not the best, wine markets in the country, which happens to be in their own state. A few loyal shops have always stocked New York wines. Some good restaurants have featured them as well, but with little money for advertising or promotion to states, small farm wineries have been unable to compete with imported or California wines. Suddenly, things have changed. Almost overnight, the New York winemakers have established a beachhead in the heart of Manhattan in Union Square. Since the end of June, they've been selling their wines at the regular Saturday outdoor market at Broadway and 17th Street, probably the best known of the city's 19 green markets, which I was surprised to learn that are you familiar with that, the little, like, farmer's market at Union Square?
I sure am.
I'm surprised to learn that's been going on since at least the early 80s. That's, like, it's huge.
Yeah, I mean, given the fact that, like, at one point in time, the Barnes and Nobles in Union Square was a crack house.
Sure.
That's who knew that in the 80s there was a farmer's market outside of what was once a crack house.
But also, like, I've sampled a lot of things from upstate New York there. Like, there's a lot of distilleries that'll show up there, bakeries, and just farms will bring produce and stuff. So it's long been a great little hub for sampling some of the finest offerings of upstate New York. But I digress, Jim. Each Saturday through October 20th, at least one winery and possibly more will have a booth at the market. Last 2 weeks, 2 wineries, Poplar Ridge and Valois in Finger Lakes and Cascade Mountain from Amenia in the Hudson Valley, were selling their wines. Today, Pindar Vineyards from the North Fork of Long Island, boo, the only non-upstate participant in the program to date, will be offering its wines. I assume it was inferior to our upstate wines.
That's right.
The open-air green markets were founded 8 years ago by the Council on the Environment, a nonprofit group to enable farmers within or just outside the metropolitan region opportunity to tap the vast demand for fresh produce. Over the years, the markets have spread all over the state. There are almost 100 of them now selling vegetables, fruit, dairy products, baked goods, flowers, and spices. Most operate from early spring until late fall, but a few, including Union Square, remain open almost all year. Well, there we go. When the wine program was in the final planning stages last spring, The officials envisioned little more than wine tastings and the sale of wine by the glass because that was all the law allowed. Man, can you imagine just getting a glass of wine on the Union Square?
I
It'd
mean,
be great.
things a lot worse has been drank and done out there.
That's true. That's true. Then last month, the law was changed, and the wineries may now sell wine by the bottle. All right. It's a wonderful idea, said Mr. William Wetmore. What a great name. Wetmore of Cascade Mountain, who sold 10 cases. See, there was the guy with the last name Beers going into wine. If your name's William Wetmore, you can go into any beverage industry, right? Like,
Yeah.
pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. I've been fighting for this for 3 years. Mr. Bagley said it's the only real way for us to get public acceptance in New York City. We've been butting our heads against the wine establishments here with no effect. I always knew we only had to pour our wine for the people on the street to make our point. That's cool. That's nice.
There you go.
All right, let's see here. I'll jump ahead a little bit. Both Poplar Ridge and Cascade Mountain were attracting a steady stream of the curious and the informed to their booths at the Union Square Market last week. We did particularly well with our sweet wines, Mr. Wetmore said. In fact, we had a lot of people ask us if we had anything even sweeter.
Ooh.
There you go. Mr. Bagley said of his customers were discovering his wines for the first time, they would say, I didn't know they made something good, this good in New York. Well, there you go. All right.
Well, there you have it, bud.
Yeah. All right. Continuing on that trend, we're moving ahead a little bit to 1985. This is also from the Times. This is called Selling Themselves. In what way?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. A spiffy little storefront wine shop opened recently on 3rd Avenue and 67th Street in Manhattan. That in itself is not news. What is, however, is who opened it. Wagner Vineyards, a highly regarded winery in the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, and what transpires there. In this store, for the first time since Prohibition was enacted in 1919, customers can taste some of the wines for sale before deciding which to buy. Oh, interesting. What's more, the 2-month-old store tasting bar is open on Sundays, and purchases can be made with credit cards, which I also believe liquor stores, wine stores were not able to be open on Sundays historically in New York City. And sounds like that changed around 85. Last December, a similar shop opened on Bleecker Street in Greenwich Village. It is owned by Chateau Esperanza, another Finger Lakes winery. These notable exceptions to the restrictive tradition in New York State for alcoholic beverage sales, liquor and wine are available in packaged stores, but not beer, which is sold in groceries, and no sales at all on Sundays were made possible by the state legislation last year aimed at abetting the struggling local wine and grape growing industries. And I'll have one more article kind of just talking more about how the state government they've opened up a lot of doors for the wine industry to like actually have a chance, which is pretty interesting. This legislation allows state wineries to operate 5 off-premise retail outlets and, unlike wine shops, to sell on Sundays and to accept credit cards. Another advantage, oh wow, you couldn't accept credit cards legally? That's crazy. Sundays, or let's see, another advantage they have over retail shops is that they can sell such wine-related paraphernalia as glasses, decanters, and the like. A number of state wineries, particularly smaller upstate ones, that have little retail presence in major cities are watching the pioneering efforts of Wagner and Chateau Esperanza to see if direct marketing could be a particular or a partial answer to the recognition and economic problems. Not surprisingly, retailers are not exactly toasting the success of these experiments. And this is like a tale as old as time for New York City, or New York State there's a huge liquor lobby, liquor retailers are a huge lobby. And if you recall during COVID, the restrictions were lifted, and you could buy a drink from any restaurant, walk around with it. Things were lax.
Sure.
And part of the reason why you can't do that anymore is the liquor retail lobby is like, nope, it's taking away our business. Get that shit out of here. So the city undid that delightful
Which we learned that people can walk in the streets with alcohol and not be complete fucking maniacs.
Yep. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it kind of blows my mind that they this even went through. But yeah, so let's hear from the wine stores here. Opening a shop in Manhattan is a giant step for us. Oh wait, well let's see. Let's not hear from them. Let me retake that. But going back to the article, opening a shop in Manhattan is a giant step for us, explains Bill Wagner of Wagner Vineyards, which since 1979 has been making wines from both European-style vinifera grapes, most notably Chardonnay and Riesling, and from native Eastern grapes such as Seyval Blanc and Ravat. Like most wineries, Wagner offers public tours of its facilities in the town of Lodi and operates a little store. After the new state law was passed, it opened one outlet in Syracuse before setting up shop in Manhattan. Cool. Nice.
Let's go, Syracuse.
Yeah. Mr. Wagner says that his motivation was twofold. First, the ability to have a one-on-one dialogue with customers, many of whom are unfamiliar with the winery and many of the grapes it uses. Second, the consumer saves money because a wholesale retail distribution system is circumvented. Nice. We learned from our shop at the winery that we always have our best success when dealing directly with the consumer, Mr. Wagner proffers.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Not untold there.
Like many state winemakers, Mr. Wagner feels that most retailers have neither the time nor the incentive to promote the largely unknown products coming from upstate, which I feel like that's kind of changed. Like, I don't know, if you go into a small wine shop, like people are like, taste this wine for the love of God.
Right. Yeah, you can sit in a wine shop and get pretty fucking lit up.
Sure.
To be honest with you.
And you can have a long conversation about wine with the proprietor. I try and get in and out pretty quick of my neighborhood wine shop. Lovely people. I'm not there to chat about wine, Jim.
That's not for you.
No. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
I like the red one. Okay. That's about the depth of knowledge I
have $20 and I'm going to a dinner party. What can I do with it?
Yep. Exactly. What's the cheapest wine that doesn't taste the worst? That's usually where I'm coming in. Let's see. They talk a lot more about kind of this growing development. But again, as we've kind of seen, the legislature eases restrictions. It allows for these wineries to do more and expand more, and actually flourish. I don't think there's these individual wine stores exist in the city anymore. Like, I certainly have not seen a vineyards tasting room, which I kind of wish there was. That'd be pretty cool. But it lit. Based off of how well the Seneca Wine Trail is doing these days, I think it's certainly, all these things helped in their own time.
For sure.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna about cover it for us, Jim. I think I may have mentioned there's another article, but you know what? I think we did it. I think this bottle is empty.
we drank everything we could.
It's true. But hey, while we drank everything we could, have you done everything you could for this show, dear Speedy Freaking Rattlesnake Pete?
That's great.
Ask not what your podcast can do for you, but what you can do for your podcast. And by that, I mean rate and review our show for the love of God. It helps us out. Share an episode with a friend. Again, if you give us 5 stars and write us a positive review, you can throw in some suggestions for things things for us to cover on a future episode. I
Which-
swear to God, I'll be able to talk next episode too.
Which, listen, folks, we had a great review last week.
Mm-hmm.
Why not keep that trend going, man? And that starts with you. That starts with you, Speedy Freaking Rattlesnake Pete. Get up in there.
There you go. After they've gotten up in there, Jim, do you have
Yes.
some things to suggest that they could check out?
Oh, for sure, man. All right. Let's say here's the situation. Here's a hypothetical, right? You and a bachelor party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pull up in a restaurant, and you're about 25 deep, and much to your shock, you are not seated. You are distraught. You do not know where to go from here, and crestfallen is the best way I can describe how you're feeling right now. Well, there's the thing that could pick you up. There's a real way to turn that around, and that is my comedy album, Upstate Understandings. It's a great album. You're gonna love it. Go listen to it. It's an incredible tour de force of comedy, produced by the homie Rob Adler, and I got a great whole gang of other people who helped me put it together. Go listen to it. Go buy it. Jimsearch.bandcamp.com is a good place to go pick that up. It's also available on all digital streaming platforms, so go do that. But if you want a physical copy, jimsearch.bandcamp.com is the place to go for it. Jimsearchcomedy.com is a place to see all of my dates for the comedy biz. And if you are in the upstate area next month, this is coming out May 1st. So no, this month. Sorry, this month. Friday, May 30th. I'm going to be over at Cafe Luga's. I hope I pronounced that. Luga House for Walter Palooza. That's right. There's going to be a comedy show.
Cool.
There's music. It's going to be a whole fucking vibe. So go there May 30th. It's going to be a real dope hang. Stephen Brown's going to host. I'm going to be doing some jokes. Walt of Walter Palooza will be telling some jokes. Winna Skells is going to be doing some music. It's going to be a great time. $15 on the Eventbrite and $20 at the door. So, again, pull on up for that. May 30th, Cafe Luga House, 81 Clinton Street is the place. Rob, they've done all that. They bought tickets for the show. They bought a copy of the album. They bought some sick merch because it's summertime. What else do they have to do?
Let's just say you're an eccentric white man who, you're pretty well off. Your family was in the wine business. You made a good buck there. Recently, the mega corporation that is the Coca-Cola Group has sued you for copyright infringement. And you kind of have two decisions in front of you. Decision number one is to co-opt civil rights language and rail against Coke in a strange tirade. Or you can sit back, gain some perspective, grab my album called New York Sticky, throw it on, listen, and just, much like a barrel of wine, sit back, let it marinate a little bit, again, gain that perspective, and maybe pursue, a painting or something, right? Retire, for God's sake.
Right.
If you want to go with that second path, which I highly recommend, just head to brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com, grab my album. It's a nice little instrumental album. And again, as we learned last episode, inspired by upstate New York musicians directly. So go check that out. It's a great album. Also check out our documentary. It's behind the scenes look at the making of Jim's album. We got a little bit of upstate in there, and as well as we walk around Binghamton, New York. So check that out. Jim.
Yes.
What are we checking out next week? Do we have a hint?
Oh my gosh! Listen, it's going to be a home run. It's going to be a home run.
Pretty good.
That right now.
I'll say we're highlighting some kind of a spring type things this month. We're doing a nice job with theming things, right?
Thematic. It's a thematic endeavor.
Last month, for whatever reason, was the month of music. And now we're
hey.
Hey, it
Heading
worked.
to spring
It
things.
Spring things. Spring fling things? Huh?
Spring up.
Oh my
Looks
God,
like we're
spring
springing
up. There we go. Hey, speaking
Yeah.
of up puns, we got to close this thing out, and I got an up pun to bring us out. You ready, Jim?
Oh, I think so. I hope so, man.
Well, Jim, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, so that means I got to open up a bottle of wine. Let's get on out of here.
Perfect. You're not getting better than that,
No,
folks.
no.
Bye.